A poltergeist is hunting down the residents of a residential building in the downtown of Ukraine's capital. Don't miss out. Can the psychics stop the otherworldly force? And what awful secrets of the past will they uncover? The psychics received this video from a resident of Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. 3 months ago, in a building in its downtown, Katerina caught a paranormal phenomenon on camera.
We were on our way to our friend's birthday and decided to film a greeting for her when we glimpsed a shadow shoot by. And then we heard rustling downstairs. There was a chair down there. We filmed everything that was happening. It started moving suddenly.
The young woman's story shocked us, and we asked the residents of the building if they had witnessed anything of the sort.
The clapping and some other ghastly noises.
I feel constant fear. Some shadow walks around my apartment. Some images hurl around. I think it's something evil, something terrible.
I woke up to the feeling of being strangled. Honestly speaking, I felt fear. I'm really terrified.
I saw a man standing in some kind of white shirt about this long, and his hands were hanging low. He was standing like this.
I heard some shuffling in the corridor, and I saw something dark shoot by. When I turned around, it rushed under the table and then somewhere else. It wasn't big, it was little, but I don't know what it was.
It turned out that the male residents of this building have been dying one by one.
My neighbor's husband was 57 when he died, and another neighbor had a husband of about the same age. He died too, and so did her son-in-law. My dad died last year. He was 51. My husband is the only man who is left alive.
What were the causes for the deaths?
Heart problems.
Natalia is 22. Her husband, Alexander, works at the Treasury. They married last year and started living with Natalia's parents in this building. But since then, the young man's health started worsening without any apparent reasons.
I feel dizzy, and I feel my heart hurt every night. When I'm at work, I feel all right, but once I come back home, I feel something like negative energy.
The doctors didn't find any problems with Alexander's heart. The spouses fear it might be caused by an otherworldly entity that's lurking in the building.
We are desperate and we don't know what to do.
A boy was recently born to the family. His name is Artem, and now the spouses are seriously worried about their son's safety.
Something strange is happening to him. He screams at night like he's panicked.
The doctors are helpless. They say the boy is absolutely well. The parents even had him baptized, but it didn't help.
He's absolutely calm during the day, but in the evening he starts crying bitterly.
I'm worried about him. I think he sees something.
But what makes the family different from the other residents of the building is that a few weeks ago, something entirely mind-bending started happening in their apartment.
I woke up in the morning and felt something wet and sticky lying on the bedsheet next to me. I asked Mom what it was, and she said it was kissel.
I made the kissel, poured it in cups, and put them on the table. But when we woke up in the morning, it was all over Natalia's bed sheets.
Like somebody had poured that kissel all over me.
Natalia said she'd heard somebody laugh and sprinkle the kissel over her in her sleep.
I heard the voice and laughter. The laughter was female.
After that, little Artem's parents decided to ask the psychics for help. They went to see clairvoyant Yaroslava Fedorova.
Please have a seat. Do you have photos of the apartment? Did you bring them by any chance?
We did. This is the front door, and this is our bedroom.
As soon as the couple entered, I saw an entity behind the man. It wasn't tall. It was female and had something transparent behind her. Something like wings. And the entity approached the man from behind and tired to embrace him. This is the card of love. And this is the card of a child. But the child is dead. See? This is the card of death, but the death is blindfolded, that is, it strikes randomly.
It's so awful. The boy is so small, and he can't say what he's afraid of and what's threatening him.
And a dead man. Look, his death was strange, and he seems to have died recently. As far as I see, it happened less than a year ago. And it feels like everything inside him ruptured. Like his heart was torn to pieces.
I guessed it was my father. At that moment, I felt warmth from behind, as if he had approached me and embraced me.
Natalia's father used to live in the apartment too. Volodymyr only turned 51. He was very fit and actively helped his daughter with her wedding preparations, but he died a few months before the wedding.
The medical conclusion said the cause of the death was chronic ischemia. Although he, as long as we lived with him, he was never on sick leave.
Lydia says that Volodymyr had felt his death not long before he died, and even chose a photo for his tombstone.
He said, "I don't know what's happening to me. I can't control myself." I don't think his death was natural.
The man is gray-haired? Yes? Your father?
Yes, he was gray.
He's showing that you are next?
My heart sank.
He's standing behind you. He's trying to protect you and your child, but he can't do it. He felt the same thing you're experiencing now. Exhaustion and fear. Look. This creature. It killed him. The transparent creature with wings. I had a vision in which the entity with crystal wings was embracing Natalia's father. And I kept hearing a child's laughter. This was the moment his heart burst. He died from the entity's embrace. And now, it was stuck to Alexander. There's another dead man in the apartment. And he's bluish, like he's been strangled. He's wearing a long shirt.
This is unbelievable. Is the ghost the clairvoyant is describing the one that one of the residents of the building saw?
I saw a man standing in some kind of white about this long.
I asked him, "Who are you?" But he didn't answer and was just standing still. I needed to understand if he was connected to the winged entity and if he could harm the residents of the apartment. Look, the candles went off. It's a very bad sign. It's terrible. Look, do you see it? The profile. It's a little skull.
I wanted to get home as soon as possible to check on my son.
Who's sitting with the boy?
My mom.
Natalia calls her mother immediately. The woman tells her that Artem has been hysterical since the morning and she can't calm him down.
He sees it in an old mirror. It emerges from it and stands in the corner of the room.
The mirror is on the left side.
I saw a man, and his gaze was fixed on the boy. I felt great threat that was emanating from him.
Yaroslava Fedorova accompanies the spouses home. Clairvoyant Rubina Tsibulska also joins the investigation. We installed a monitor in the courtyard so everyone could watch the events inside. Because all these people want to understand what is going on in the building where they live.
Are these the psychics?
There is a psychic in front of the building.
Yaroslava, hello?
These are Natalia and Alexander. I'm having a vision of a hanged man looming over the child and watching him closely.
I've seen this man. He looks odd, like he came from the old times. He's above the child, do you see? Quick, get the boy. We need to put a protection spell on him while we're trying to sort it out.
Give me a glass full of salt to put the candle upright. The man's spirit emerged from the mirror. A mirror is a portal between the realm of the living and the world of the dead. We needed to neutralize the spirit, at least temporarily, to prevent him from coming out of the mirror. Let's put it in front of the mirror.
The salt fell and spilled.
Our protection jar with the salt fell.
All of a sudden, there was a crash and it fell. There was nobody near it. I got worried about my son.
It's calling me somewhere. Is it?
A female spirit.
She's taking away men. And what is this man doing?
He's taking children. He's threatening your child. There are 2 spirits here. It feels like they're looking for something.
The woman wants to take something. You took something that belonged to a dead person who wanted to keep the thing.
The woman is showing me something oblong.
It's something that is passed from generation to generation in your family.
We have my mother's dress.
It turned out that the female line of the family has been passing on the great-grandmother's embroidered dress for several generations.
Great-grandma's embroidered dress. It's very beautiful. It's more than 100 years old. It's made of old cloth that people used to make and embroider themselves. The blouse was used to invite people to a wedding. She wanted to be buried in it, but it stayed in the family.
It's a widow's dress.
All the women who married in it ended up widows.
Yes, Grandma widowed when she was 29. Great-grandma widowed at 29, too.
Natalia's mother became a widow recently, and now her son-in-law is also in danger. Is it possible it's the great-grandmother's spirit taking away all the men of their family one by one?
She wanted to be buried in that dress, and so she wanted to take it back. That is, they needed to put it in her grave.
She simply wanted to return the thing that belonged to her. Her last wish before death was to wear that dress.
But there's something else, something more dangerous. You know, I feel cold that's taking me that way. Men can't live here.
They all died from the same condition.
All the men who died in the apartments on this floor in the recent years did it suddenly, and they were all diagnosed heart problems.
Is the owner of this apartment home?
Come in.
This woman's name is Katevan Bukedzi. She and her husband, a businessman, arrived from Georgia, but then he suddenly died.
He felt he would die soon. When we were at our friend's birthday celebration, he said, "It's the last time we see each other." My friend later told me he said farewell to her. Men are being taken away in this building.
The female spirit is doing it.
I have a feeling the walls here are not original. Like it used to be a common space. A single room.
It used to be a single room.
Such buildings used to have very large rooms with luxurious decorations.
The building is old. It was built in the last century. In case the paranormal phenomena are somehow connected to its past, we invited a historian. It's possible he can explain the visions the clairvoyants have.
I have pictures running in front of my eyes like slides. The room with the high ceiling, people in old dresses, a piano's playing, and I hear a child's laughter.
Yaroslava, look here.
Oh my goodness.
A man's corpse. A man's corpse lying. Oh, look.
It was terrible, unimaginable. Very long ago, a fortune teller told Mom a man's restless spirit roamed our apartment.
He's in a white shirt with ruffles. This is an old apparel. He's bluish. He's hung and...
In the late 19th century, The family of Moise Galperin, one of the largest sugar manufacturers of that time, lived in this building. He provided cigar to the emperor's court.
This man, he had everything, but he died bearing great suffering. I can't be here. Let's get out of here, please.
Oh my God, it's so awful.
This is unbearable, so much pain.
Isaac Galperin committed suicide. He hung himself in his apartment.
I see great grandeur in the room. Everything is so luxurious. It used to have luxuriously decorated walls. There's gold and beautiful molding on them.
I saw the old pictures. There were very beautiful tables and chairs with high backs, covered in cloth, and the plates were gilded.
Lighting was among the most peculiar elements of decoration of that time. In this case, we're talking about chandeliers, custom-made on order.
I hear children's laughter, and I hear that from this part of the apartment. The child, a little girl, a bow on her hair. And she's running and hopping.
Isaac Galperin had a daughter whom he loved madly. Her name was Sophia.
I see a piano or a grand piano. The girl was probably doing her music exercises. And she's running there from there. Something falls here. And it scatters. Everything scatters like glass wings. I saw a huge chandelier fall on the child.
Little Sophia finished playing a composition and she needed to change the sheet. She went to the desk, on which sheet music. The chandelier suddenly fell, and the girl was gone in an instant. The chandelier was made of bronze and crystal in the shape of a large bunch of grapes. It weighed around 150 kilograms.
She was crushed. She was running to her dad, calling him, and it happened the moment he entered the room. His child died in front of him. He could do nothing. How could he live after that, considering he himself had bought the chandelier?
He hung himself after that.
He died the following year, unable to live without his beloved daughter.
You can't wish such tragedy even to your enemy.
So it means she strangled all those men.
She's searching for her dad. She wants to embrace him, but she doesn't understand how she could do it.
The spirits of the girl and her father. They're searching for each other. So he hung himself. He took his own life.
Yes.
And she died tragically. They're in the parallel worlds, and they can't meet.
The two spirits of the father and his child, they keep searching for each other. The girl's spirit will keep taking men away, seeing her father in them, and the man will keep taking children. So we decided to try to help them meet. All right. So we need a round loaf bread and threads from this home.
And knives.
We'll use them to cut the paths leading here, and thus we will reunite them.
He felt he would die soon. He's in a white shirt with ruffles. This is an old apere.
I hope you won't cry anymore, and your tears will be tears of joy and happiness.
We are sincerely grateful.
Thank you so much.
Sometime later, we checked if anything had changed in this family's life.
My son is a lot better, and so is my husband. Now all those events are like a memory of a bad dream. We are grateful to the psychics for helping us.
This is absolutely incredible. A woman captured a poltergeist ravaging her home on camera.
Look, here. Here, look, not bad, isn't it? I'm absolutely shocked. The chair's turning.
The owner of the apartment sent the video to psychics immediately so they could find out what kind of force it is, and the answer is going to shock you. In this episode, the psychics are going to deal with an aggressive poltergeist that's attacking a young mother and her 2 children.
It all began with the rapping on the door. I answered it, but there was nobody there.
Yana lives in a 3-bedroom apartment with her 2 sons. Her younger son, Ilya, was the first to feel the poltergeist's presence at home.
He woke up shouting out, "There's a man over there." I told him, "It was an illusion, dear."
But at that moment, the remote control car turned on and began righting itself.
The first thing I did was to check the remote. It was on the wardrobe.
Then the woman's elder son, Artur, also felt the presence of the evil spirit.
He went to the kitchen to drink water and saw a man's silhouette in the bar mirror. He was reflected in full size, from his head to his feet.
All of a sudden, the mirror in the cabinet cracked in front of the boy's eyes. After that, Yana also saw the poltergeist.
I woke up to the feeling that there was somebody standing near me. I opened my eyes and saw a man's face.
Yana got out of bed and went to the cabinet to find a church candle to say a prayer. But all of a sudden, something tore the cabinet's upper door away and threw it straight at her.
The door fell and hit me on the nose. It started to bleed, and it was very bad.
After that event, the woman had a camera installed in her apartment to record the evidence that the invisible attacker really existed.
I was afraid to tell anybody because they would think I was insane. This is terrifying.
Yana has lived in this apartment since she was a child, but recently she stopped feeling safe in her own home. Therefore, she's asking the psychics to help her deal with the evil spirit.
I really need help so I can have peace of mind and know my children are safe, so I can live peacefully in my own apartment.
Ukraine's most powerful psychics, Olena Kurilova and Kayal Alekperov, agreed to help the woman. Before setting off to see Yana, the psychics decide to work with her video clip.
This is a dead man.
He's searching for something. There's some kind of mystery related to his death.
I had a vision. This woman, Yana, is in the room, and next to her, I see a severed male head.
Is this the same man?
I don't know yet.
Is it possible that this Yana killed somebody?
Do we have her photo?
I see a vivid picture. 3 women sit facing one another. They put on kerchiefs on their heads and pass a little wooden thing to one another. It looks like some figurine or something, and it's all wrapped up in or entwined with something.
Seems like some kind of ritual, but what does it have to do with Yana?
Some ropes, threads, and knots. She's one of the 3. She's one of the 3 women.
2 hours later, the psychics arrive in the town where Yana lives and are at her apartment building.
Hello. Thank you so much for coming. I'm really grateful. Help me, please. There's somebody living in my apartment.
This is a man's spirit, and this dead man is somehow bound to you.
Who is this?
Can we enter your apartment to summon this man's spirit?
Of course you can, of course.
But before everyone had even entered the building, Kyle Alekperov shocked everyone with what he felt.
There's the spirit of a man here. Beware. He's aggressive.
Flower pots fell from the windowsill. What is going on here? Does the psychic see the spirit that's haunting Yana and her children? But who is this man?
Quiet, quiet. Kyle? Where's his head?
He says, at my home. Where's your home?
God, help and protect me. This is my home.
I'd seen the head of this man, whose spirit appeared in the building when we entered, in the vision I had before the investigation. Was he murdered in Yana's apartment? Could she have been involved in it somehow? My jinns are showing me a ring, but I don't understand what connection it can have with the beheaded man. Olena, what's the matter?
Sit down, sit down. Are you unwell?
My legs gave way. I had a sudden vision. A beheaded man lying in the middle of the room.
Olena, sit down. I see this room, but it has no ceiling and I can see the sky. I see a crane. The building is being constructed. A man wearing a builder's helmet squats at the wall, doing something.
What else do you see?
Something falls off the crane. It's something heavy, like a concrete slab. It lands on his neck, cutting his head off.
Yes, it happened when this building was being constructed. There was an accident at the construction site. A man's head was torn off. Yes, it did happen here.
Suddenly, Kyle Alekperov left the room and began working at the front door. What has the psychic felt?
I don't see the spirit in your apartment. He can't cross the threshold. Did you invite a priest when you moved in here?
Mom said she invited a priest, and he blessed the apartment.
Yana is from an Armenian family that lived in Azerbaijan for many generations. 30 years ago, they had to leave the country after war broke out there.
We left the country because there was the war, and people died there.
Yana's parents were given the apartment in which she lives now as refugees. Later, the neighbors told them that the apartment had been empty for a long time as people feared to live in it. This is the reason why Yana's parents arranged for the priest to perform a blessing on their new residence.
The beheaded man's spirit had frightened everyone who moved into the apartment, to which he's bound. But after Yana's parents had it blessed, he couldn't enter it and had to stay on the stairwell. He needs to be released. I'll do the ritual on the stairwell.
Then whose spirit is ravaging the apartment? And why can't the blessing protect the place from it?
The spirit of the man that's harming Yana appeared here not so long ago, and it's bound to her herself, not to the apartment.
I decided to check Yana's life with my cards to see if I could find the answer in her past. The card of death. The lovers. The cards told me of some kind of romantic unfaithfulness related to death. But back then, I didn't understand what it meant. The card of the woman. She's holding something in her hands. You took something with your hands. Wait. Did you find some strange items?
I did. 3 candles made of 3 interwoven thin candles, each in a cross burned on a sheet of paper.
I hear a quarrel between you and a woman. Yana, this is somebody from your family.
Could it be somebody from my family?
The woman is related to you. She has some property claims. It might be connected with this apartment.
It could only be my sister.
The big family of Jana's grandmother, her parents, and 3 children used to live in this apartment. Jana's grandmother and father died. Her brother and mother went to live in the US several years ago. Her sister, Ilona, married and went to live with her husband in his 1-bedroom apartment. And, according to Jana, her sister is not happy. She inherited their parents' apartment.
Could Jana's sister use magic against her?
Jana phoned her sister, Ilona, who lives in the same town. She agreed to speak to the psychics, regardless of the fact that she and Jana barely communicate.
Hello.
Hello. My name's Ilona.
Hello.
You had a kind of conflict because of the property.
Yes, we did quarrel quite a lot.
We were like enemies.
The sisters couldn't come to terms with each other. Ilona and her husband and 2 children have to share a 1-bedroom apartment, and she has the right to a part of their parents' apartment. But it's easy to understand Jana. She doesn't wish to sell the apartment in which she's lived since her childhood. The women argued because of it so much that they couldn't even see each other.
I haven't spoken to her at all for almost a year.
But could Ilona be involved into the events that are happening to her sister?
We found the items made purposefully to cause death at her home.
Do you think I did it? Go and check it.
Did these hands do this? No.
I was a little bit shocked that my sister could even think I could do something like this to her.
This woman doesn't wish you death.
It's a load off my shoulders.
You shouldn't be enemies with each other. You're sisters, and you must support each other.
Of course. She's my sister. My God, how could you think it was me?
It seems like the women have been looking for a chance to forget all their quarrels and finally reconcile.
I will never harm her in my life. Never.
I am sorry if I did something that hurt you.
It would be a lot easier to find out who did that if we could at least see those things.
What did you do to them?
Nothing. I kept them. They're at my home.
Look, how could you do something like this?
Hurry! We need to get to your apartment. The magic is directed at your children's deaths.
Help me. My children are everything I have in my life.
Tell me, please. Have you buried your child?
Yes. I was pregnant with twins. Then I had a miscarriage and lost one baby. Ilya survived.
Those items took away the other baby. Where did you find them?
In my bag in the bedroom.
For how long had the bag been there unused?
For about 3 years.
The woman recalls that the last time she used that bag was before her younger son was born.
Jana, my sacred book says it was done by a woman who couldn't have children. She shifted her fate to you.
And then I realized where the package of the candles came from. I already had a case like that in my life. About 10 years ago, my friend came to me and said, Olena, look, I was riding the subway with this bag. And when I came back home and opened it, I found the kerchief in it. And in the kerchief, 3 candles and the same cross, but made of wax, were wrapped.
Do you mean her bag was open and someone planted that thing on her while she was using the subway?
When a woman can't have a baby, she goes to a black hag. The black hag tells her to find a young and beautiful woman and plant the thing into her bag. It was planted on you.
But it has nothing to do with the man that's been haunting your home.
Anyway, we need to get rid of it. And I've sealed it with the wax from my blessed candle.
But who is that entity that's haunting Jana's apartment? Whose spirit is this, and why is it threatening the woman and her children?
Who are you, and why did you die?
It's a clue. What is this?
This thing is deadly.
It's a ritual thing. It's charmed.
What does this mean? Did the woman carry out some kind of magic ritual?
I hear some strange words. Wait, this is my language. It's a widow's curse.
It's unbelievable. But who cursed whom? And where does the thing come from? And what is it?
It's a spindle, it's my grandma's.
It turned out that Yana's grandmother brought the spindle from Azerbaijan.
She always carried it with herself.
Always. She always took it whenever she moved to another town or country. I never saw her use the thing.
When her granddaughter asked her, the old woman said it was a gift, and it had value for her as a memory. After Yana's grandma died, first her mother and then Yana herself kept the thing as an antique. But the woman would never think it could be loaded with a curse.
Tell me, was your grandmother a widow?
Yes.
Was your mother a widow?
Yes.
Are you a widow?
Yes.
It's hard to believe, but this woman is a widow? How is it possible? She's so young. As it turned out, 4 years ago, Yana lost her husband.
I see a road. Did your husband die on the road?
Yes. He crashed on a highway.
Tell me, what was his name?
His name was Algis.
Yana's husband was Lithuanian. He had a business in Ukraine. They met at a party thrown by their mutual friends. The woman says it was love at first sight. But the happiness didn't last long. 5 years after the wedding, Algis died in a car wreck. He lost control of his car. His death was a terrible shock for Yana.
He was a very fair kind of person. Very kind. He was very fair. He loved me a lot. It was a great love.
The first son isn't his, is he? He took you with your eldest son, saying, it's his boy, didn't he?
Yes, he wanted to adopt him.
The father of Yana's eldest son was the first love of her youth. But their relationship went sour. For a long time, she was alone until she met the man who made her happy.
Olena, please remember the vision you had before the investigation.
The 3 women passing something among them.
The 3 women are Yana and her grandmother and mother, all of whom became widows. The spindle is cursed. Whoever held it in her hands lost her husband. A woman gave this spindle to your grandmother on the day of her wedding. She had imposed a spell on it. She hated your grandmother because she was jealous of a man's affection for her.
It was Grandma's sister. They had a conflict because of a man. I remember clearly that it was because of the man.
The cursed spindle killed 3 men from Yana's family. Her grandfather, her father, and her husband.
Olena, do you remember when we were watching the video before the investigation from this room, you said the man's spirit was searching for something? My jinns are showing me a wedding ring. This is your husband's spirit that's haunting you.
He loved me so much. Why is he angry? Is it because of the ring?
Let's summon him. Okay, close your eyes. With my words, with my requests, with my candles, with my prayers. Hold on, dear, I'm reciting. The candle, give me the candle.
It went out. The candle died out.
Kayal, give me the candle. Light it. Go away. Leave this place and never come back.
I'm praying to God. Please leave.
Your husband's spirit is here. He's not going to go away. He says, you cheated on me.
Me? Cheated?
He's infuriated. Look at the chandelier. He says, you were unfaithful. Ilya is not my son, and you're lying to everyone. You tell them he's my son.
Does this mean the woman who 5 minutes ago told everyone of the heavenly love had been cheating on her husband?
Were you pregnant from somebody else when you were married to him?
I know I did a wrong thing, and I don't reject it.
This is your wedding photo. It's not an accident that it fell off the wall. His spirit tumbled it. He's giving you the sign that he doesn't wish to be your husband.
A romantic affair related to death. She was unfaithful to her husband, and he only learned of it after his death.
Jana's husband was often out of town. His business demanded frequent trips. Jana often stayed alone, and she missed him a lot. She says she only had one date with the other man, and it happened at the moment of weakness. Only after she made the mistake did Jana realize how much she loved her husband. She soon knew she was pregnant. She was going to tell Algis, but was late. He died.
Jana, did you record your husband as the boy's father?
Yes, I was married after all.
He hates you because of this unfaithfulness and wishes to take the wedding ring he gave you, but he can't find it anywhere.
I did have the wedding ring from him, but I don't have it anymore. I had to sell it.
You were so used to your husband's infinite love that you didn't even think how hurt he would be.
This is my sin, I know. I'm not going to deny it. Of course it was a betrayal. What do I do?
You must ask him for forgiveness. We are going to recite prayers, and you will tell him what you have on your heart.
Algis, please forgive me for my mistakes and my unfaithfulness. Please go and leave me and the children alone. I'm begging you. Please let me go. Please. Please. Forgive me.
He heard your sincere tears.
To make sure he doesn't return, you must buy a new ring and take it to your husband's grave.
I promise you, I'll do it.
And you must also return the cursed spindle to your grandmother so it won't harm anybody else. Take it to her grave.
I will do it. Thank you so much.
I'm going to pray for you and your children.
This woman lived in lies for so long, and because of it, she almost lost her and her children's lives. However, it appears that she has learned a crucial lesson. You can never hide the truth.
An unknown supernatural force is terrorizing a family. But can the psychics stop it once they uncover the family's darkest secret? Ukraine, a small village in the countryside. Suddenly, strange and mystical events began happening in the home of 48-year-old Svetlana Zanochkina.
I hear voices and doors open and close on their own. At night, something disturbs me. I can't see what it is, but it pulls the blanket off me.
Svetlana lives with a large family, her daughter Marina and her husband, her son Serhiy with his family, and 5 grandchildren. All of them say they witness inexplicable things almost every day.
My grandson said when he went to get hay, he heard someone calling, "Tolik, Tolik."
Yes. I got here and heard the quiet voice repeating, "Tolik!"
Got scared. He's even afraid to go to the bathroom at home. That's how strong his fear is.
The family says they not only hear voices and noises, but also see strange shadows and figures.
The dog started barking, so I looked out the window and saw a man in black. He was wearing a hood. Like this. No face at all.
I felt a cold stare from over there. I turned around, and there was a silhouette. I didn't panic and said, "I'll start reading prayers." But time passed, and I looked out that window, and there it was again. Green eyes and a twisted, disfigured face.
What's happening in this household? To find out, Svetlana sent a photo of her home to the psychics.
I saw the way Zhana Shulikova works. I like her approach, so I'd like her to come.
Looking at this photo, I see a vivid image of a cemetery. I see a grave. There's a girl standing over the grave. She's terrified of the person buried there. She's afraid they'll rise the grave. Then I see stakes being driven into the grave.
Medium Dilaram Saparova joins Jana in the investigation.
I see a little boy. There's a man and a woman yelling at him, and then they start beating him. And then I see the boy has hanged himself. How awful.
When the psychics arrive, Svetlana is already waiting for them.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. Strange things are happening in our home. We believe it's some kind of mystical force that's making life here unbearable. I feel cold breathing in the house.
Like frost coming off of it?
Yes. I'm not the only one. My daughter-in-law feels it too.
I was sitting on the couch, speaking to Mom, when suddenly, something breathed right in my face. It was cold, like from outside, but the windows weren't open, and the fan wasn't running.
To understand what was going on, we decided to scan the energy of the house, the yard, and its owners.
Are you feeling unwell?
Yes.
Easy. Easy now. She's about to faint.
I couldn't breathe. Everything went dark. I'd had this before, but never this strong.
15 minutes later, Svetlana gradually recovered, and the psychics continued the investigation.
What room is this?
The kitchen.
Do you have a basin?
Yes.
The spirits are asking me for water, so I can see through the water. I'm seeing a vision of a boy.
Not a boy, an adult man dead.
Yes, dead.
The psychic's visions differ. Dilaram previously saw a boy in a photo of the house. Who is he? And what man is Jana talking about?
I saw a disturbing, horrifying vision. In it, the man was dismembered, piece by piece, and I felt he was directly connected to what's happening in Svetlana's home.
My husband was hit by a train.
It turned out 6 years ago, Svetlana's husband, Serhiy, was struck by a train. He was supposedly crouched on the tracks in a poorly lit area. The driver spotted him too late to brake.
The man had left for work. He was a mechanic at the local brick factory, but for some reason, he ended up on the tracks. No one understands how or why it happened.
I see him in my dreams. He once told me he'd been murdered.
What really happened to Svetlana's husband? Could his death be connected to the paranormal activity in their home? The site of the tragedy is just 2 kilometers away, at a railroad crossing. The psychics head there immediately.
He's sitting here. He can't hear anything.
He saw and heard nothing.
The forensics found no alcohol or other toxins in Serhiy Zanochkin's body.
And the train is approaching.
And in that final moment, he's blinded by the train's headlight.
I hear the impact.
As a train approaches, you would not just hear the noise, but also feel a powerful vibration. It would usually trigger an instinct to move away from the source. So Serhiy, sitting on the tracks, was likely in some unnatural state. Otherwise, he would have instinctively tried to escape.
Could the source of the poltergeist activity in the Zanochkin home be Svetlana's deceased husband? But what message is he trying to send by frightening the entire family?
Some unseen force pushed this man toward the train. He didn't do it himself. And I started to think it was the same force that was disturbing Svetlana, preventing her from living in peace. But you weren't living with your husband.
No, or he left.
Svetlana admitted that 6 months before his death, they'd had a falling out. She says he got tired of her and found another woman. On the last day of his life, he came to reconcile, but was acting strangely.
He came to our daughter's birthday. We were sitting at the table. He said, "Make a wish." I wished for us to make peace and live happily. He said, "I want to make peace too for the sake of our grandkids, the children, for a calm life." Then he just stared out the window. It gave me chills.
Like a zombie.
He was not himself. I still don't know what was wrong with him.
Serhiy's death was definitely tied to otherworldly forces. I saw an eerie, terrifying doll. It looked like a voodoo doll, and it was in a strange apartment. A woman had made it.
That's my parents' apartment.
Astonishingly, about 12 years ago, Svetlana and her husband lived with her parents in a town 4 kilometers away. There, she once found a doll made of wire and thread.
We found it inside the couch. It was tightly wrapped in red thread and had no head.
Did someone wish Svetlana harm and plant the strange doll so it eventually led to her husband's death? But who would do such a thing, and why?
I decided to perform a ritual. There's something grotesque there. It's a voodoo doll. Someone made it, and now people are dying. It killed your father.
Both my parents died.
Svetlana says her mother was a healthy woman, but when she was 60, she suddenly developed multiple illnesses.
It happened so quickly. Her leg swelled badly, and then her organs began to fail. Her heart was very enlarged, but the doctors couldn't explain the cause.
3 years after her mother's death, Svetlana's father also passed away. The cause was a trophic ulcer resulting from varicose vein complications. But what does this all mean? Could someone truly be using dark magic to wipe out Svetlana's entire family?
We need to go to the apartment where you found the doll. The curse was aimed at your mother because of the man she married. I saw an old woman. It was Svetlana's grandmother, her father's mother. She hated her daughter-in-law. And she created the doll to eliminate her.
Svetlana confirmed that relations between her mother and grandmother were bad.
My grandmother, Maria, never liked my mom. She always criticized her whole life.
Svetlana says her grandmother had a strange friend named Lida, who was rumored to practice magic.
The curse was only directed at your mother. It had nothing to do with the man who died on the railway tracks. That is, your husband. The woman got what she wanted. Svetlana's mother died. But her father passed away from grief after losing his wife. But what kind of force pushed Svetlana's husband onto the tracks? And what force is now wreaking havoc in her home?
You have a daughter, right?
Yes.
Where is she?
In the village.
Your daughter is hiding something from you.
She's never hidden anything from me.
I see it clearly. She's definitely hiding something.
The psychics returned to the Zanichkin family home, where the investigation began.
Hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
Marina.
Did you kill him?
It's unbelievable. Is Serhiy's daughter involved in his death?
Did you kill him?
She didn't, Dilaram. She killed him in her thoughts.
You constantly wished he would die. You didn't want him to live. You harbored a deep resentment.
Yes, I had those thoughts.
But why would a daughter wish death upon her own father?
I'm seeing the images. She was crying, completely beaten.
Then Marina revealed something truly horrifying. Since she was little, her father brutally punished her for any mistake. And then, one night, something happened that she can never forget.
I was 13. At 2 in the morning, he came and beat me nearly to death. He looked into my underwear. He looked into my bra. Every night, he would do those things to me. What kind of feelings do you think I had for my own father?
It turns out Serhiy was an alcoholic, and once he got drunk, he became a violent monster.
He would beat my head and stomach, and then say, "God forbid you tell your mother, or I'll kill you."
Did you know this?
I did. I complained, but nothing happened. The police couldn't help.
Couldn't you just kick him out?
We did kick him out.
He threatened us with a knife. What he did to us was terrifying.
And you, as her mother, couldn't do anything?
He said he'd kill her and send the kids away somewhere.
What do you mean, kill her?
He said, "I'll kill her, and the kids will go live with their grandmother."
It's hard to even imagine what Marina endured. But the worst part is that even after her father's death, she still fears him. Could it be that he's the force tormenting the family from beyond the grave?
I sense him often, especially near my brother. I know his smell, and I constantly sense the smell.
When I worked with the letter, I saw a grave. And then I heard a terrible scream. It felt like something was being driven into a heart.
Yes, I drove aspen stakes so he couldn't rise from the dead.
Into the grave?
After he was buried, I placed them in the shape of a cross.
You mean you were afraid he'd get out of the grave and come back?
I could still hear him.
Even after her father's death, Marina was so haunted by fear she couldn't live in peace.
That fear never leaves me.
To rid herself of it, Marina didn't go to a therapist, but to a local sorcerer, who gave her specific instructions.
He said, "Take aspen stakes and drive them into his heart." So we went. I made a cross, and when I tried to strike the heart, the ground beneath me shook. I trembled all over from fear, and then I heard a groan.
Could what's happening in Svetlana's house truly be connected to her late husband? And what force drove him to sit on the tracks and wait for death?
I clearly felt the death of a little boy. He was thin, frail, and small. He's crying. Why are you crying?
A little boy.
His age is...
He's little, Dilaram.
Under 13.
He drove my brother to the grave.
It turned out Serhiy was Svetlana's second husband. From her first marriage, she had a son named Vitaly. When she remarried, his stepfather despised him.
He abused him badly. He beat him so hard his backside turned black and blue. And one day, he couldn't take it anymore.
The tragedy happened 20 years ago. The Zanichkin family had traveled to visit their relatives in another region. There, in a barn, they found 13-year-old Vitaly hanged.
Something pulled me toward the barn. I opened the door, and there he was, hanging. I tried to take him out of the noose, but I couldn't.
Honestly, I didn't want to live anymore. But one thing saved me. I got pregnant with my son right after we buried Vitaly.
Marina says the man tormented her brother so cruelly, the boy began to dream of death.
He talked about death ever since preschool. At his funeral, even the teachers said so.
How could a child want to live when he's being torn to pieces?
I know. I lived through it. And I stayed silent.
Why?
I was afraid.
Afraid of whom?
Him. Because he would punch me and kick me.
Who were you afraid of?
Him.
She's just a child, like the boy who hanged himself. What the hell are you screaming at her for?
I've cried all my life. Please help us find some way to let this go.
The boy, you must ask him for forgiveness.
You're the woman who drove your son to the grave with your own hands. How can she live with it? You can never atone for such a sin. And then to become pregnant by the very man who did this? 2 months after Vitaly's death?
It took a long time to calm Dilaram Saparova. Half an hour passed before she could resume the investigation.
I'm continuing this because there are other children here.
But how does Vitaly's suicide relate to the paranormal events in Svetlana's home and her husband's death?
The boy was betrayed. He saw something. He told his mother something and asked her, "Mom, don't tell Dad."
On the last day of his life, the boy accidentally saw his stepfather with another woman. He told his mother immediately, but instead of leaving the man, Svetlana told her husband what her son had seen.
I had his consent to do it. I said, "Let's tell him. And if he starts hitting you, we'll leave and go live with Grandma."
He was terrified to be alone with that man. He was afraid he'd be killed.
She drove her own son to the grave with her own hands. Do you understand you killed your son?
What can I say? No one else has lived in my shoes.
How do you even go on living after this?
If it was my family and someone abused my child, I would never ask that man to come back.
I did it for my younger son. I had another boy, do you understand this? I made that wish that our family could stay together. We had children and grandchildren. He promised he'd change. I always hoped things might be different.
After his death, Vitaly became furious and restless. He drove his stepfather mad, and now he's behind the poltergeist terrorizing this house. Because you can't abuse a child.
It's terrifying. I remember all of it.
She's lying. She doesn't understand a damn thing. Not a single tear on her face.
He just wants to be loved. That's why he keeps appearing.
I couldn't even begin to imagine that my own brother could be the one who's angry.
You must ask the boy for forgiveness.
Tell me how. What do we do?
When you go to the cemetery, when you go to church, when you celebrate something at home, always do it with him.
Vitaly, my sweet boy, I'll do what's right. I'll never forget you. We're grateful for everything.
I finally feel some relief. The psychics helped me understand why all of this happened. I'm so grateful they helped us see the mistake we failed to notice.
Parents killed in a car crash are calling their daughter to the other side. Don't miss out. Was the accident a planned murder? The psychics will reveal the shocking secret. Every day, this 29-year-old woman wakes up thinking that she'll die today.
My life is a complete disaster. I think I'll die earlier than I'm supposed to.
Marina Klimenko lives in one of the Ukrainian cities and works as a lawyer. She claims that deadly danger follows her almost every step.
It was icy, and on the bridge, I still don't get it how it happened. My car just started spinning like this. The next thing I remember is that I was pulled out of the car, and well, they told me it was my second birthday.
Marina has survived several car accidents, and recently a car almost hit her, right on the sidewalk.
I was walking with a friend in the downtown. When we crossed the road, I stopped to do up my laces. And then, as soon as I took just one step away, a car crashed into a tree on the spot where I had just been standing. I could have been there too.
Marina is convinced that these accidents don't happen to her by chance. 18 years ago, her parents died in a car crash. She was 11 years old then.
They were driving along a highway, and in the middle of the road, a military truck with no lights stood.
It was dark. Her parents' car crashed into the truck. Her father died at the scene, while her mother died a week later in the hospital.
I never had dreams about them after it happened.
But 4 years ago, Marina's parents started appearing to her almost every night.
They tell me, Marina, we're waiting for you. Come join us.
To find out if her life is indeed in mortal danger, Marina Klimenko decided to seek help from the people with extraordinary abilities.
I was very impressed by Anna Gallier's work. I hope she can help me too.
Along with the British medium, psychic Orena Laska is also taking on this investigation.
I see a young man in the company of other young men. Someone's pointing a gun at him.
I see many people. A dark room. They're all dead. And then one of them comes back to life, like he's resurrected.
I see that woman as a little girl. She's holding something in her hand. It seems to be a ring. And the ring, like a black hole, is sucking in all her energy.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm so glad you came. Please come in.
I feel heavy energy around you. It's pulling you to the other side. I felt that everything that was happening to Marina was somehow connected to theft. But not from the living. but from the dead.
I'd like to look at your hand as well. Your lifeline splits at some point. One part is short, it ends, it's a real threat, a danger of death.
So, Marina's premonitions are not groundless, and her life is indeed in danger?
I'd like to carry out a little diagnostic test. The sound is completely distorted. You have some kind of disturbance which makes me think there might be a curse.
I see two spirits here. I don't understand who they are or why they're here. Two shadows pass by me. At first, I thought they had nothing to do with our investigation. Only later, I realized I was wrong. I feel intense pain within you, which you're trying to hide from everyone.
You're actually right.
It's connected to your parents, because I don't see them near you.
That's correct.
You're an orphan. No parents. I see an image from a carefree girl cared for by her parents. You suddenly became a mother. But it's not your child, it's your brother. You worry about him.
Yes, that's entirely true. I have a brother, and he's 4 years younger than me.
Marina's brother's name is Dmitro. He is now 25 years old. He was also going to be present at the meeting with the psychics, but he recently started working at the prosecutor's office and can't show his face.
I protected him, helped him with his studies, and even taught him how to waltz. Grandma and he are my only family.
I feel that your brother is also in danger of death. I see a gun being pointed at him.
Yes, it happened.
Dmitro was at the train station to meet his friend and accompany her home when suddenly strangers approached them.
Some guys were walking toward them, slightly intoxicated, and they had a gun.
They demanded money from Dmitro. However, the place was crowded, so they got scared and fled. But it wasn't the only incident. One day, Dmitro and his friend were in the city in the evening when suddenly a man appeared with a gun and began demanding money. But again, nothing happened, as the attacker was alarmed by passers-by and ran away.
It means the deadly threat doesn't only loom over you, but also your brother. I see that you both were supposed to die with your parents, but something saved you, and it's still protecting you.
That's absolutely true. It was supposed to be a family trip.
But right before the trip, little Dmitro suddenly began crying hysterically for no apparent reason.
He got terribly hysterical and turned red, blue, and green.
The parents, Serhiy and Olha, decided to leave the children with their grandmother. They were supposed to be back in 3 days, but their children never saw them alive again.
Now I see the day of the accident. I feel there was someone else in the car with your parents.
That's true.
It was Marina's uncle. He was also injured in that terrible car accident. He and his wife were in the car with Marina's parents.
It feels like he also died. I see him being taken away.
He's in a dark room. There are spirits around him.
He comes to his senses. He's among corpses.
Exactly. He was taken to the morgue. Everyone thought he was dead.
Medics declared Ihor dead and took him to the morgue, where he lay for several hours.
He resurrected. It was shocking. He has 2 guardian angels.
I woke up on a concrete table, naked, covered by a thin sheet. I shouted and a terrified nurse ran in. Then I fainted again. When I came to next time, I was in a hospital ward.
When Ihor recovered, he immediately recalled how the tragedy occurred.
A truck seemed to be turning around. Serhiy reacted, as any driver would. He turned the wheel left and braked. Later, after the accident, I found out that the truck was actually stationary, with its engine off. None of its lights were on. So we hit its rear wheel.
No one understands where the truck came from or why it was parked on the road with its engine off.
The funeral was terrifying. What can I say?
The farewell is still etched in my memory.
Someone planned that accident.
Marina's mother worked as a nurse in a hospital. Her father was a truck driver. Who would want to kill those people? And why?
I agree. The accident happened due to some interference. It wasn't a coincidence. Those two people, the brother and his wife, they survived, while your parents did not.
I feel that sometime before your parents' deaths, everything around seemed to be warning of the tragedy.
The signs, they practically followed them.
Yes, they did. I don't remember much, but I recall a few things. Before we were told about the accident, a mirror broke, and the framed photograph of my great-grandfather fell.
But who could have wished harm on Marina's parents? And is this the reason their children's lives are now in danger?
The great-grandfather, whose photograph fell before Marina's parents' deaths, played a significant role in this situation. But I didn't understand how at the time.
The clairvoyants walk around the building in which Marina's grandmother lives.
For the second time today, I see two spirits near us. It's a young man and an older woman. I feel that they haunt you at night.
After hearing this, Marina shared something so chilling it would make anyone's hair stand on end.
I often feel the presence of two people, a man and a woman, one older and the other is younger.
As a lawyer, Marina was always a staunch skeptic. She says if something like this happened to anyone else, she would never believe it.
I was sleeping at night and woke up with a clear sense that someone was lying next to me. A man of about 35 years old, big and stately, not resembling my father, and an elderly woman, gray-haired, curly, probably 55 or 60 years old. What saved me was reciting Our Father maybe 10 times.
Marina says the spirits follow her everywhere. She has changed several rented apartments, but feels their presence in every home.
They're often with me. I can wake up at night feeling that someone is right there next to me.
But who are the spirits the clairvoyants see? Why do they haunt Marina at night?
They're hiding, and I can't read the information.
Your mother saw them too, didn't she?
I know Mom used to talk about such things, but since it was a long time ago, I don't remember her stories well. I heard her sharing them with her sister, saying she heard footsteps, felt some presence, and that someone choked her at night.
Marina's grandmother recalls that sometime before the accident, her daughter-in-law began making the sign of the cross over the windows. Could it be that Marina's mother also sensed the presence of the two strange spirits?
The spirits of the older woman and the young man said something had been stolen from them, but I couldn't understand what. I want to go to the place where your parents spent the night before the accident.
Marina says that a few weeks before their death, her parents had bought a house in the country, but they didn't have the opportunity to settle there and only stayed one night. Could the house be cursed? The psychics immediately set out to investigate. As it turned out, no one lives there anymore. All that remains are ruins.
This house was special to your parents. They didn't move here without reason. It feels like they wanted to start a new life.
It was supposed to be temporary housing.
Your mother tells me their move here was connected to money. Your parents had financial problems.
My parents were in debt, so they sold our house and bought this one. The debt, as far as I know, was connected to the car they crashed in.
As it turned out, after Marina and Dimitro were born, their parents took a loan and began building a house. Things were going well. Her father, a truck driver, earned enough to make timely payments on the loan. However, 6 months before his death, he borrowed money to buy a car.
Then unemployment hit. They had a tough period at work. It was hard.
They couldn't pay off 2 loans at the same time. The debts grew, and the creditors began harassing the family.
Mom was very worried that we were in debt. They even received threats.
Your mother is very upset about how things turned out. She says, "Marina, forgive me for leaving you without support. Now your mother and father are here. They're holding your hand."
I was taken back to my childhood, to everything I experienced.
The 2 spirits that haunt you are here with us again. I can describe them. The woman has gray curly hair and a gentle gaze. The man is younger than her.
They follow you everywhere.
At that moment, I was shown a ring somehow connected to the dead. Moreover, I felt that the deaths of Marina's parents and what was happening to her and her brother were connected to that ring. The spirits are telling us to go to your parents' house.
All right, let's go.
This is the house Marina's parents began building after their marriage, but sold a few months before their death. It's located in a nearby village. Marina hasn't been to this place since her parents died.
I only heard that it was resold 5 times.
As I see, it's locked now, right?
The house's owner agreed to unlock the door, so the clairvoyants could work there. A renovation is currently underway in the house.
Give me your hand. Right here, I found this coin. Take it. It was lying here. It's a kind of sign. Is the coin hot in your hand now?
Yes.
I'm getting an image of a little girl walking and carrying. No, it's not a coin, but something different. It's round and silver. What is it? Was that you? What was it?
A silver ring.
As it turned out, several years before her parents' death, Marina found a silver ring at this very spot. The ring didn't belong to any family member.
The ring carries very negative energy.
I see this as a curse. A death curse on your mother.
But who would wish harm on Marina's mother, and why?
I see a specific event involving your parents. At some point, they started arguing.
And it was all because your father cheated on your mother.
As a truck driver, Marina's father was often away from home for weeks. After one trip, Marina's mother found a pile of photographs of various women in his truck.
Mom was crying and holding the photographs, saying, "What is this? Look, to my beloved Seri."
But how are these infidelities connected to the deaths of Marina's parents? And why are their children in danger now?
I feel that not only did your father cheat on your mother, but your grandfather also cheated on your grandmother.
There are rumors in the family that Marina's great-grandfather, Yukim, was also a womanizer.
Your great-grandfather. He's the root cause. He cheated. Then he returned to his wife. His mistress was deeply hurt and placed a curse on him so he would always cheat. And not just him, but his entire lineage.
Because of this magical influence, your father cheated on your mother.
The woman Marina's father abandoned wanted to win him back. She sought help from a sorceress who advised her to place a death curse on her rival. For the ritual, they needed a ring from a deceased person. Around this time, acquaintances of your father's mistress, a mother and son, were murdered during a home burglary when they came back unexpectedly. The mistress stole the dead woman's wedding ring at the funeral. After the ritual, she planted the cursed ring in the home where you lived with your parents.
But if it was intended for Mom, why did Dad die too?
You see, a husband and wife are one. When magic is performed on one, very often the other dies too. Rituals involving items from the dead are the most terrifying and powerful because they involve black magic.
Then who are the man and woman who haunt me?
They are the murdered mother and son your father's mistress knew. The ring you found belongs to the woman. They keep coming back to reclaim what was stolen from them. You were the first in your family to touch the ring.
If your great-grandfather hadn't cheated, there wouldn't be this ring nor the accident, nor would the danger you're feeling now. Everything in this house would be fine.
What do I do?
You need to take any silver ring, place it where you found the original one, and invite a priest to bless the house. You should also go to a church. Leave an offering and say, I atone for my entire lineage.
Marina, let us perform a cleansing ritual to help protect you from danger.
For about an hour, the psychics walked around Marina, reciting prayers.
How do you feel now?
Like I've just woken up.
Your new life begins now.
I am very grateful to you. I'm so grateful to you.